It's a big week for Fortune. The Fortune 500 is out. Every year, Fortune puts out a list of the biggest 500 companies that are based in the US based on revenue. Once again, Walmart is in the top spot for the fourth year in a row. A lot of changes in the list this year. Big moves for technology companies up. Companies like Facebook and Netflix and Amazon.com. Also, healthcare becoming a much more important part of the US economy. United Healthcare, CVS Health, companies like that on the rise. But the biggest change, the biggest shift in the Fortune 500 this year came from the energy sector. Energy prices were down a lot in 2015, and that had major impact on not just the energy sector, but other sectors as well. So overall, it was not a particularly good year for Fortune 500 companies. Overall profits were down 11% for the Fortune 500. The worst hit sector was the energy sector. There are 62 companies on the list. They lost a combined $44 billion in 2015. That is horrible. That is really bad. Of the top 10 companies who fell in the rankings from 2015, 8 of them were from the energy sector. Hess had the biggest drop. They went from 141 in 2014 to 394. Marathon Oil, Apache, Anadarko Petroleum, also in the top 5 of companies falling in the rankings in the Fortune 500, which is what happens when your raw material, the thing that you make and then sell in the open market, is about 50% lower in price than it was the year before. Falling energy prices were not all bad news. It was actually very good news for particularly the airlines. American Airlines, their profits were up 164% from the prior year. United and Delta, their profits were each up nearly 600% from the year before, and Southwest Airlines, they gained 92%. Falling energy prices is very good for US consumers. Falling gasoline prices puts money in our pocket, and a lot of consumers were out buying cars in 2015. That was very good for the automakers. GM and Ford, their profits were up 145% and 131% respectively. So as much as I love the Fortune 500, the reality is that's a 2015 story. And here's what's going on with oil prices so far in 2016. It's been a really good start to the year. Oil prices are up about 35% so far this year, and energy stocks have been some of the best performers. This again is another reminder that when something is being left for dead, when people are saying, I never want to own energy stocks again, that's usually the time you want to be a buyer, not a seller. And earlier this year when the market was in free fall, that was a great time to be looking at energy stocks as an investment or at least as a trade. So oil prices are up from their lows of a year ago, and that has some people hoping that maybe we've seen the bottom for the global economy. Oil prices now back above $50 a barrel has some people hopeful that, okay, the worst is behind us and the global economy is going to be okay. Having said that, the most recent economic data, particularly the US jobs numbers for May, has people yet worried once more about where this economy is going. So watch oil prices as a barometer, not just for energy stocks or the Fortune 500, but for where the whole global economy is going. And the bottom line for energy companies is yes, oil prices are up a lot from their lows of 2015, but they're still down more than 50% from the peak of 2014. So this might be a better year for energy companies in the Fortune 500, but it's going to be a long way from the peak.